Good morning, everyone. I'm Gertrude, and today I'm going to share with you what I've learned in WWU and how this changes my attitude, how this attitude influenced my teaching, and how my teaching influenced my students. And my topic is Love in the Air, American Teaching Adventure. And first of all, I will introduce you the Big Five. The reasons why I choose the Big Five is because I didn't know how this element will influence my teaching so much before I participated in this program. The first one is social skills. Miss Sarah told us the very first step. Miss Sarah told us the social skills. When she said cooperation, we have to say working together, cooperation. Why I think this is so important is because it's the very first step to build up cooperation, cooperative learning environment. In fact, for my students, they are still struggling with this issue. They don't know how to cooperate with their classmates. Sometimes they don't know how to express themselves, how to solve the problems, how to tell others their feelings. Yeah. And first, the second one is immersion language learning. I learned this technique from Miss Laurie. She taught us Spanish in all Spanish. And for me, as a student, it really shocked me because I feel really frustrated. But for a teacher, I feel inspired because I started to feel the feelings of the student. But I feel that for some low achievers, teacher Laurie gave us rich facial expressions and body languages, and it really helps. And sometimes it will occur to me that if I am the main instructor for my student, if I can't give them enough opportunity to get exposed to the language, where can they gain the chances to experience the language? And the third one is theme-based learning. For Sarah teacher, when we were in Bellingham, she introduced us several topics. She taught us the jobs in Bellingham, the different types of houses, and the outdoor activities. All were about the theme Bellingham, and I think through these activities, I have a basic understanding about Bellingham. And the fourth one is activities in cooperative learning. Mr. Miller gave us a task during his class. He told us to do a fashion show. We had to dress up the model and wrote an introduction for the model. And Professor Melan was the best leading actress at the time. Yeah. And the fifth one is change songs and drama. I think all of you have already experienced this, and it did have a magic power. And right now, I want to introduce the main character in my classroom. I used the 8th graders, an intact class. There are 7 students in total, 5 males and 2 females. About 70% of the students were below the norm in the test on this website in February 2016, and they fond of interactive activities. They had short attention span, but when I gave them some incentives, they had higher learning motivation. And right now, I want to introduce myself before this workshop. I think I was a teacher. I used grammar translation method a lot. I was teacher-centered. I taught my lessons based on the textbooks. And I would have a short stop here, because on the last slide, I told you that my students like activities, they love incentives, and they love interactions. But before, I was not the kind of teacher can give them the things they want. So you can imagine the situations, how I got along with them. We have a difficult time, in fact. I want them to be disciplined and patient in my class, but in fact, they did the opposite things. They were very impatient and they are restless all the time. Therefore, I think maybe it's time for me to change. And this was the demonstration I did before. You can see the arrangement and how they failed. Yeah. But after this workshop, I started to apply some activities in my classroom. First, I use concept sorting because I think the more they get involved, the deeper they will learn. And I started to introduce my lessons based on themes. You can see picture 2 here. When I outdoor activities, I try to let them guess, and I put some pictures related to the outdoor activity. And after they guess, after they find the answer, for example, if the answer for this one is swimming, I teach them the related vocabulary words. I also apply digital tools. The reasons why I use digital tools is because internet is an inevitable change in the future. And internet is also a quick way to arouse their learning motivation. And at the same time, students can adjust their learning when they use these digital tools. I can also catch up with my teaching schedule, in fact, honestly speaking. And for vocabulary teaching, I use Quizlet. In fact, right now, all the students in my school use Quizlet and Quizlet Live, and also Kahoot. If I want to review vocabulary, I will use Quizlet Live. For dialogue and reading, I use Edpuzzle and Seesaw. For some assessment, I will use Google Forms. It really saved a lot of time for me, and our students were involved. And these are the topics for my video conferences. We still have 3 to go. And I think the requirements for a good video conferences is I have to start with students' life experiences. My students love the theme about food. When we talk about food, they were very excited. And Sarah's family, yeah, they love it. And I think we should provide enough interactions for them with the teacher. I think if we have time, if we could practice beforehand, they would perform better. And that's one I think is very important one for me, is to settle down gadgets. A good webcam, microphone, even speaker, I think are all necessary for good video conferences. Because for my students, if they feel the learning environment is a little bit uncomfortable for them, they will be very impatient and unfocused on the teaching. And for interactions, you can see the small pictures here. This is about our Halloween video conference. And Sarah would tell them to grab a picture, for example, vampire, and the student have to grasp the picture at 1 point. I think they like it. And I think for my role, I think I should be an assistant rather than be a dominant role in my class. And before that, I have to design lesson plans and prepare worksheets because I have to have something to do for them. Yeah. And I'll discuss with Sarah, and most important of all, get my students ready. And honestly speaking, I also encountered some dilemmas in my teaching. I have to catch up with the schedule because I only have 4 classes in a week, and I have so many things, teaching materials to do. I also have the pressure with the entrance exam. They have to face it, and I have no excuses for this. But I think since I learned so much strategies, I can overcome it. we also have some benefits for students. I think they started to love English, and they use the language for its own sake, and they also broaden their vision. One girl student told me that one day she wanna go to abroad, and the other told me that if our video conference ends, she will find her own. Yeah, to try to find a foreigner to talk with them. Yes, and some students start to use English in their daily life. Some of my students will call me, "Hey, Gertrude." Yeah, my name is Gertrude. Okay, it's fine. And for me, I learned some various ways to organize teaching activities. I bring more activities for them, and I think my teaching styles started to become different, and I also have a different thinking. And last but not least, it just happened yesterday. My students and I were preparing for the welcome party for Sarah. And some of the students want to make tea for Sarah, and the other group want to bake sausages for Sarah. But they don't know the vocabulary words. Therefore, they asked Miss Marilyn, the lady here, how to describe the whole process. And you can see them. I think when I see the picture, I was very touched because they are very peaceful at the time. And for one student here, this one, he started to ask Miss Marilyn how to describe the thing here. What is the thing here? Okay. The first word he said is pork. But I said, you can say more, but he didn't know how to do it. Then I said, you could draw it. Then he drew this one, and with some colors on it. And in fact, it's sausage. Yeah. So I think changing is a slow process, but I think it's expected and it's valuable. Yeah. Thanks for your listening.